This week, we upgrade the electrical system to our RV, replacing AGM batteries with lithium, adding a more powerful inverter and a new solar controller, all aimed at giving us more off-the-grid boondocking time.
Now, if you've been following our adventures here on the RV Lifestyle channel, you know we bought our new leisure travel vans Unity FX model a couple of months ago, and we're enjoying it immensely. Love it. But I wasn't happy with the standard battery system that came with this, which are wet cells, basically the old wet cells, lead acid batteries. Now, they work great for probably 90% of the people, but I've gotten spoiled. So we've gotten spoiled with boondocking and living off the grid a bit, and those old wet cell batteries, they run out of juice a little quicker than we'd like. So when we bought it, we upgraded immediately to AGM, which is kind of the standard now in the RV industry. We put 2 AGM batteries in, and that helped a lot. But the truth of the matter is, I have been spoiled over the past 7 years with lithium batteries. And we've had some pretty big configurations of lithium batteries, and we've, because of that, been able to do a lot of boondocking, staying out there off the grid, not connected to any electrical system at all, except what we had in our RV. So when I had an opportunity to partner with Battle Born Batteries, which makes a great aftermarket lithium batteries, we jumped at the chance. Now, I'm not overdoing it. I only put 2 lithium batteries in here, and we upgraded the inverter, and we upgraded the solar controller. It was a big project. What's it like? Well, stick around, because in this video I'm going to show you exactly what we did. I want to stress, though, that this isn't for everybody. Just because you might have a wet cell battery, you might be doing just fine with it. Same with AGMs. AGMs work great. Many people have them. They don't need anything more. This just is a better fit for our lifestyle, we feel, having lithium and being able to continue our boondocking out there off the grid. So let's jump in and let me show you what we had to do to get the lithiums working in our new Unity FX.
We're installing 2 100-amp Battle Born lithium batteries. We're also upgrading to a Victron 2000-watt Multiplus inverter, a more robust solar controller, and a Victron battery monitor. These are the 2 AGM batteries that we're replacing. The new lithiums are the exact same size and will fit in the same spot behind the step and under the floor.
So the first thing that we had to do is remove the old batteries, and we had put AGMs in there. You know, the batteries are under the steps. They slid out, and these new Battle Born lithiums fit perfectly in there. So got to just wire them all out, and the batteries will be all set. So why did we choose Battle Born batteries? Well, for a number of reasons. First of all, you can check them online. They have absolutely great reviews. The service, I can tell you, is terrific. Every question I ask, I got immediate answers from them, and they really helped walk us through this whole update process. But there's a couple of things. One thing, lithium batteries don't generally play well in extreme temperatures. They don't like the cold. They don't like extreme heat. Battle Born has built into the batteries its own battery management system, a BMS they call it. And it's built right into the batteries. It stops it from discharging at the right time if it gets too cold. It stops it from charging if it's too cold or too hot. They really have figured that out well. Lithium batteries are much more efficient than any other kind of battery. They charge faster. They charge more. They last much longer, and they deliver much more power at much less weight. Now that's something that was pretty interesting. Let me show you when I'm talking about weight, how much of a difference there is between the AGMs we had and the 2 lithiums we had. How much do those lithium batteries weigh each?
30 pounds each.
So I have 2 of them, so I have
60 pounds of battery in there.
60 pounds of batteries. These are my AGMs that we took out. There they are, and here they are on the scale. Can we see that?
136 pounds. We removed the 1,000 watt inverter. We put a 2,000 watt inverter in. This is a Victron Multiplus 2,000 watt hybrid inverter. It has a Bluetooth control on it also. The dongle here, you can see it. It's kind of sitting down there between the two batteries, but these are our two Battle Born batteries, the GC2s. They're the drop-in replacement for the 6-volt lead acid. You can see they fit right in the same spot that were the original batteries were in. This will be initially, later on, it'll be covered up by the stairs, so we're not exposed. Well, what we did, Mike, was we took your beautiful brand new leisure travel van and upgraded almost the entire power system for you. The two batteries that you put in here is our GC2. We call it the game changer. It's a drop-in replacement for a 6-volt lead acid battery, so it's the same form factor as far as the footprint, the dimensions of the battery, but it's a 12-volt lithium battery, and it's one of our most popular batteries. The inverter you have is a 2,000 watt hybrid inverter, so it'll work in conjunction with your generator if needed. If there's a larger load that needs to get started, it'll help start that up. And then the battery monitor from Victron, like I said, it has the interface, the Bluetooth. It's kind of a, it's a leading edge technology. It's a real nice device to have on board. And the solar charge controller has that ability too. It's also Bluetooth.
So here it is installed, and you can hear it's kind of running. There's a couple of fans there. I did have to do a couple of mods. This was where the original inverter, the 1,000 watt inverter that came stock on this was located, and it's just not enough room. So I took, this was part of a storage compartment, and we mounted this this new Victron inverter and charger right there. It's mounted really nice and strong. It's not going to vibrate or anything. They have a couple of vent holes here and at the back, and we drilled a couple of holes through this sheet metal, so we've got good air circulation and lots of room, so it's going to run very cool. You can control it from here if you want to go outside and turn it on, but there's a much better way, and that's with Bluetooth. So installing it was really pretty simple. It was just a matter of mounting it, and it mounts perfectly in this this compartment. This compartment's insulated a little bit, and there's some felt on there to keep things quiet, and I couldn't be happier with how well this thing fits. Another change I made was in the solar controller. This is the standard one that came with my Leisure Travel Vans Unity. It's from Go Power, and it did a fine job. But I may want to add more solar panels up there someday, and so since we were upgrading everything else to Victron, I also upgraded this one. This is the new Victron solar controller. It's a little more robust. It mounted just fine right up here in this storage cabinet, and it does a great job. Now I can see that blue light on in there. That's also Bluetooth compatible. Now there is a regular battery monitor, and I got that. That's this one right here. However, the old battery monitor was this one, a Magnum, because that's of course the name of the old inverter, a Magnum. Now it used to fit up there like that. You see it's square, but this one is round. So what we did is we just found a little square piece of plastic, and we were able to fabricate that, and that mounts in there really well. And you can see it is a great job. I can do a quick check on the battery monitor just like that. I also have it here on this entire control center, that monitors the tanks and the black water tanks and the LPG gas. So you can see they're pretty well consistent. This one is showing a little more accurate, I think 13.64 volts in there. So that mounted really well. But it is the Bluetooth capabilities of this new lithium Victron system from Battle Born Batteries that I installed. That's what I want to show you. That's what I really like. This app from Victron, it's the Victoron Connect App, and you can see, let's show you. First of all, it shows you all of my devices that are up here. It shows you the smart battery monitor, it shows you the entire state of charging, and it shows you solar. Let's click on solar. You can see it connects, and it's showing me, right now it's the end of the day, the sun is far to the west on an angle, it's only getting 47 watts. I'm getting just a minimal amount of current from the solar panels. But it's nice because you can see the history, and you can see what it's like on a sunny day. This was 3 days ago when I had lots of sun, and it brought in a lot of power. It's been cloudy and rainy, but I really like that. And it'll also let you look at a trend map on your solar current and the solar voltage. Now, this app is really nice because I can connect, and I can see right now, because I'm plugged into shore power, that I've got the AC coming in. I got some AC coming out. I got a few things plugged in. It shows you the state of my battery, and that it's a bulk charge, and that the battery is charging with maximum current until absorption voltage is reached. And it can give you detailed views too of the voltage, the current, the power, the frequency, how clean your power is. That's all nice to have. And then this is the same thing as the battery monitor I just showed you. It shows you a little more detail, a little more graphically. It shows I'm 63% charged, those lithium batteries right now. How much voltage they have, how much current they have, the power, how much power I'm consuming with things that are plugged in, and how much time I have in those batteries. And because I'm plugged in to shore power, it's infinite power. So this Bluetooth app, and being able to access all three of these Victron systems that Battle Born put in with my unit, this is really handy.
Now, I admit I need some help here. So getting my system set up and properly configured is Joe from M53 RV, a mobile RV service company near my Michigan home.
There are 4 systems that I needed to make sure worked when we did this upgrade. The first had to do here with the engine, specifically the alternator in the engine, and a charger that alternator sends current through that then goes into the batteries, so that you're charging the batteries when you drive. We had one glitch with that. It wasn't working, and we had to find out. Leisure told us where the charger's located, and it's located underneath the seat. We had to pop these off and get underneath there, and sure enough, we found that somehow in that process it had popped a 30 amp fuse. So that was replaced, and everything works great. The alternator charges the batteries, and of course the batteries go into the inverter. So that's the first system. The second system is really the generator. We have on this a 3,000 watt Onan generator right here, and that too can charge the batteries, and we want to make sure that worked, and that worked just perfectly. We didn't have to do a thing. Immediately the charge that puts into the batteries was fine. We didn't have to adjust that at all. The third system is up here, where I have 400 watts of solar. And that's the solar goes through that new controller, and then that goes into the batteries, and then the batteries, of course, will go into the inverter. The 400 watts of solar helps keep the batteries topped off. They're a big help when you're boondocking, and we had no problems with that. They connected just fine as well. And then, of course, the fourth system is right here, and that is shore power. That's 30 amp shore power. And you want that to charge the batteries as well when you're plugged in. No problem with that. Now, we did have one issue with the inverter. Somehow or another, it wasn't accepting a lot of the power. It wasn't charging the batteries, and we were wondering what all that was. So I called the folks at Battle Born, and they explained that it was simply we had to go to a website with Victron. We had to download a little program, and then we connected by USB our laptop to the inverter, and we just had to check a couple of configuration settings in a little program that Victron had us download, and that allowed the inverter to work with lithium. So all 4 systems work well. We really didn't have much of an issue at all. I mentioned to you that I got professional help, and I recommend that to everybody. It just makes sense to have somebody who's more experienced in electronics and hooking up batteries and inverters, to have them oversee it all. And I was delighted to get Joe from M53 RV to come by and do it. But for those of you who are really strong DIY type people, you probably could do it yourself. I'd call the manufacturer of your motorhome and tell them what you're planning to do, and I certainly would work with the people at Battle Born, because they are familiar with all of the different configurations, all of the different RVs, and that'd be my first call to Battle Born, and they'll say whether you can do it yourself or whether it might be good to get somebody like Joe to come by and oversee it. Sean, a lot of people are going to have seen this video and they're going to say, is my rig too old? Can I do this on mine? Can any rig pretty much be upgraded like this?
Absolutely. If you are out there and you're using your RV full time and you have the pain point of lead acid batteries, we all know they're kind of a hassle sometimes. They don't work really well. We can tell you at Battle Born Batteries, our professional staff can tell you how to upgrade any RV that exists. We know all the ins and outs.
So tell me again, why exactly did we do this? Why the lithium batteries?
Okay, lots of reasons. First one, lithium batteries have about double the power in the same physical space as lead acid batteries. They can be discharged 100% versus lead acid, which should only be discharged at like 50%, so a much greater depth of discharge. Lithium batteries are about half the weight that the AGM batteries that we had before. They can be charged up to 5 times faster than lead acid batteries. That's pretty cool. They last 10 times as long as lead acid batteries, and they hold a charge for up to a year. So you don't have to trickle charge them if you're in warm weather. Now, if you're in really cold weather, you gotta charge them always. Any kind of battery, but they'll hold the charge up to a year.
Now, does this mean that we can turn on the air conditioning without being plugged in?
No. The air conditioning is like the most power-hungry thing out there. We only have 2 lithium-ion batteries, so that's not enough. You need like 4 or 5 lithium batteries to be able to run the air conditioner without the generator or being plugged in. And even then, you could only run it for maybe an hour or 2. Air conditioners take up a lot of power.
All right, so what about using the microwave?
Yes, we don't have to run the generator anymore to use the microwave. We don't have to be plugged in anymore to use the microwave. When we're out boondocking, we can use the microwave just fine. We have enough power in the inverter now and enough power in the batteries. Not a problem.
All right, so if we can use the microwave, I imagine that I can use my hairdryer?
You certainly can. You don't have to be plugged in anymore. You don't have to run the generator. That hairdryer takes about 1,500 watts. And no problem at all. Same thing with that little ceramic heater that we use.
Oh.
That thing can be run now without having to run the generator or have it plugged on, in cold weather. You can also use that little round oscillating fan that we use. That can run all night long without having to be plugged in or using the generator.
Okay, if we can use the fan, can we use the fan and can we also use your CPAC machine?
Yep.
Can we use both of those?
Not a problem.
That sounds good. We can use it all night when we're boondocking.
All night for multiple nights.
Awesome. Okay, so bottom line, how much longer with the lithium batteries can we boondock versus what we had, the AGM batteries?
Well, that's always, dependent on how much power we're draining from here, but we don't use a lot of power when we're out boondocking. Running the CPAP, charging our computers and our batteries, and that's about all we really do. With the AGM batteries, we could go 3 days. With these 2 lithium batteries in place of them, with our bigger inverter, I would think we could easily get 5-6 days, maybe even 7, maybe even a week, just with minimal use like we do when we're boondocking. So I think it's a good investment.
I think it sounds like a really good investment. I can't wait to get out there and do this.
I'll put links in the description below this video to the exact system we got, the batteries we got, the inverter, the solar controller, all that stuff will be linked. Just look in the description and you can find out more information as well. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, I'm not a techie, so don't ask me a lot of questions about, well, what about this setting and that setting? If in doubt, get some professional help. That's what I did. I'm Mike Wedlin. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the RV Lifestyle channel right here on YouTube. Happy trails.